What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by LOCKCITY. It's Whitey here today with your Wednesday NBA slate, but before we get into that, to quickly recap for last night, we did go 2-1 here on the JuiceBox. The JuiceBox lock, Anthony Edwards, 30-plus points cashed. We had LeBron over 35.5 total PRA, that cashed. And then Westbrook, unfortunately, couldn't get the threes to fall last night. He shot 1 for 6 from three-point land, if I remember correctly. But we'll take 2 out of 3 for profit every single day of the week. Huge shout out to Claw for taking care of us on yesterday's pod. Overall now for the JuiceBox locks, we are now 122 wins, 93 losses, and 2 pushes all time. We are up almost 50 units, and I think we can technically eclipse that today if we are to cash tonight. So let's keep it rolling, and without further ado, this is what I have on the board for tonight. The first play that we're going to talk about here is going to be the Cavaliers and the Charlotte Hornets. I hate to say it, but I think these teams are very similar in terms of their style of play. In terms of offensive rating, nearly identical. Free throw rate, nearly identical. Defensive rebound percentage, nearly identical. Three-point rate, nearly identical. And then Cleveland obviously does edge out Charlotte in a couple of these categories here. But noteworthy for tonight, a lot of injuries on, well, really both sides, but more so on the Cleveland side of things. Darius Garland is going to be out. Sam Merrill is going to be out. Max Strus is going to be out. And then on Charlotte, they're missing Plumlee, missing Simpson, and I would imagine Salon probably plays there. But our Cleveland starting lineup is looking like so. We're going to have Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Tyson, Dean Wade, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. I think this is a game that potentially Charlotte might be able to win outright, but what we're going to target here is going to be the over-under. I think the pace of play is going to be really high. I think in order for Charlotte to be competitive here, in order for them to potentially squeeze out a win here, they're going to need to be playing super quick basketball. They're going to need to outscore Cleveland. They're not going to get it done on the defensive end. They're going to need to make sure the pace of this game is super high. First play is going to be Cavs and the Hornets, over 237.5 total points here. It looks like 236 is what it's technically dropped down to over here, at least on RotoWire. So if you can grab it at 236, obviously grab it at 236. I grabbed it at 237 about an hour ago. That's going to be our first play. We're going to have 1 unit on it, and let's talk about the next one. The next one up, we're going to be talking about Sam Hauser. I guess we can kind of stay on RotoWire for a second here. We're going to talk about Sam Hauser. Jaylen Brown is probable. He's probably going to play. But over the course of the last couple games, we've seen Sam Hauser get about 30 minutes a night. And he's made really good usage of those minutes. He obviously dropped a 30 ball a couple of games ago. We had him for 10 or more points a couple of nights ago. He had 16. He's over this in 4 of his last 5. He's been shooting the ball well. He's been getting a lot of good looks. His usage is going up. Our second play here, it's also going to be a 1-unit play. We're going to be running it back with Sam Hauser, 10 plus points. Like I said, he's now over this in 4 of his last 5. He is only averaging 8.7 points per game on the year, but he's seeing a bigger role now. You can actually find this for better odds than what you can get it for the other night when they were playing Detroit. Minus 102 on their home court. Sam Hauser, 10 plus points. Again, that's going to be a 1-unit play. And then the last one that we're going to talk about here is going to be the Pistons and the Pelicans. We'll quickly hop back over to Edgley here and take a look at it. So this one here, I'm expecting a much slower pace of play than I think the books are. If we take a look at the over-under for this game, it's 234.5 total points. The Pelicans have a horrible offense. They're not even scoring 115 points a game. Detroit has the second best defense in the entire NBA. They're giving up about 110 points a night, slightly less than. Detroit is just completely lopsided on the Pelicans here. Detroit's coming into this one with no injuries. They're coming in completely healthy. I guess Karis LeVert's questionable, but nobody cares about Karis LeVert. And then on the Pelican side of things, their usuals, I guess, are going to be out here. They will have Fears, they'll have Murphy, they'll have Zion, they'll have Derek Queen, but they're going to have to play this Detroit style of basketball here tonight. I'm expecting a slower pace. It looks like this one's up to 235.5, which is crazy. These are going in the opposite directions of what I would expect here. I grabbed this one at 234.5 total, but we're going to be going with the Pistons and the Pels under 234.5 total points. Last 3 record, they've hit this in 2 of their last 3 head-to-head. My projection for this one is a low-scoring affair. I don't think the Pelicans are even going to be able to put up 110 points, and I think the Pistons probably keep it below 120. They're going to be comfortable with their pace of play. Just rack up another win, give them a little bit more of a cushion at the top of the Eastern Conference here. No real sense of urgency in order to push the pace here tonight. So our 2-unit JuiceBox lock of the day, under 234.5 total in the Pistons and Pels. If you can get it at under 235.5, obviously great. And then on the other side of things, if you can get the Hornets and Cavs at over 236.5 instead of over 237.5, obviously that's going to be preferable as well. Overall, in sum, this is what our picks are going to look like. Again, we're going to have the Cavs and the Hornets over 237.5 total. That's going to be a 1 unit play. We're going to have Sam Hauser to score 10 or more points. He's hit that in 4 of his last 5. His usage has gone up. His minutes have gone up. That's going to be a 1 unit play. And then our 2 unit play, our JuiceBox lock of the day, is going to be the Pistons and the Pels under 234.5 total points. They've hit this head to head in 2 of their last 3. And projection for this one is a low scoring game, 118 to 104 in favor of the Pistons. If you like the content that you've been getting here, make sure to like, subscribe, leave us a comment down below, whatever your favorite play of the day is here between these 3, or anything else that you have on the board for today's NBA slate. If you'd like to give us any of your plays there, if you want us to follow along, post it in the comments. We'll follow a couple of them. But other than that, we'll see y'all back here tomorrow with 3 more winners. Take care.